Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms. In this video, we will take a look at the astrology of August 2022, and we will see through the astrological events one along with the dates, and we will discuss what effects they might have and how can we deal with them more productively. And I will also have a booklet ready for you with the calendar. It's interactive, so you can click on each date and it will take you to the page which is relevant for that date, and it will also give an indication of what signs are being affected by it and many different ways that we can make use of this event. So make sure to check that out. The link will be in the description box in the comment below. With that being said, let's get started. On the 1st of August itself, we have Mars conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, and this is just very unpredictable. There can be really sudden changes, impulsive decision making, and it's just very spontaneous. So if you are stuck in a rut, if you feel as though you really need a change, then this could be the time that it happens. Actually, the effect can be starting in the very last of July, and then it just peaks on the 1st. This can be related with self-esteem, security, stability, financial related issues, and also what is our comfort zone, what we consider comfort, and how can we shift that up to elevate our levels of comfort as well. If you have any big decisions to make with like many things at stake, then it would be wise to wait at least the 4th of August when Mercury enters Virgo. Mercury until this point was in Leo, and moving into Virgo, the mind is very sharp. We are intelligent, we have keen observation, we want to go through methodical steps. We can also do form filling, not taxes, I guess, but yeah, any type of documentation that we need to do, forms we need to fill, we can really go through it very technically minded. We can be very keen in that regard. So making bigger decisions would be better under this influence here. There can be perfectionist tendencies though, so yeah, keep things under moderation. That's all. Critical thinking is great, but anything too much then kind of dampens the blessings of it. Okay, then on 7th, we have two things happening. The first one is Venus in Cancer will be trining Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is retrograde. So there can be topics around self-love that come to you, revelations and understanding. Trine is an opportunity, it's a blessing, and it's up to us to make the most out of it. The more we flow with it, the better the influence affects us. We also can be very aware of the relationship patterns that we have always carried out. So, it can be realizations that, hey, I always choose partners like this because it compensates for a feeling of such and such within me. And if I take care of it myself, then I will not choose such people, thus changing the relationship pattern. Of course, this does not necessarily have to be only for romantic interest. Venus is love in general. So what do we desire? What are we passionate about? What is meaningful to us? What gives us satisfaction? These topics can also come under the same scrutiny here. We understand our patterns, how we relate to it, and how we can shift that around next time around. Okay, then on the 7th again, the second aspect that is happening is Mars in Taurus will square Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn is in retrograde. This one's a little bit annoying because Mars does not enjoy Taurus and Saturn is influencing weakly since it's retrograde. So there can be trouble asserting our will and establishing very strong boundaries. We might not want to lay down new structures. We just want to stick to what we have. But Saturn in Aquarius in retrograde is asking us to evaluate those structures. So overall, it can feel very stagnant in terms of outward movement. But because we have the trine in the water signs, Cancer and Pisces, this is more about the emotional body. It's about taking a bit of rest, taking it a little bit easy to evaluate what is really meaningful to us, right? So every time doesn't have to be go, go, go. There can be an inhibition of self-expression though, because we're feeling so much, we're going through so much internally, it might be hard to express it outright on this day. Bosses and authority figures can be a little bit pressurizing as well. The solution to deal with squares is to break through it yourself in some way. So keep your head down and be in the defensive for this one, because again, we don't have that much willpower in this. So we're going to defend our space, we're going to mind our own business, keep our head down, do the job that needs to be done, and that's it. Just don't get into anyone's way, because again, you might not have the will to fight or argue about things. Okay, there's a lot more going on internally. Evaluate what is really very important, because you're definitely getting a lot of realizations about that, and be patient about external pressures. It's a very temporary thing, so it'll pass. Okay, on the 9th of August, we have Venus in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde as well. If you're looking for new love, this might not be the best day. It's as though karmic situations, difficult lessons through people can surface here. There can be a destructive love pattern as well. You can fall really fast and hard with someone, but then it is very temporary as well. So if you're not looking for something like that, then yeah, this date would not be great for more of a long-lasting love relationship. Within relationships, power imbalances can be felt. Someone might feel more victimized, and the other might take on the more bully role. Even if that's not usually their persona in any arguments, it can feel like someone is trying to overpower the other. Basically, the feminine might feel disempowered because Pluto is involved here. Even if it is retrograde, the manipulation kind of goes through in other ways. So the power is spread in a different way. It's a subtle power over something. Okay, but there can be some guilt tripping that takes place. Creative blocks can happen, and manipulation through other people is quite easy. But the whole point is that the feminine is not actually disempowered. It's this opportunity, this configuration here is an opportunity to just be like, hey, you cannot talk to me like that. No, have gentle power to know where you need to establish your boundaries. How far is far enough? How much is enough, too much, right? It needs us to take initiative and help our own divine feminines. Feminine and masculine energies are in everyone. Masculine is the doer, action taking, initiative taking that we do, and the feminine is the one that creates the space and the presence and the inspiration. Without either one, there is no point of the other, right? So our own divine feminine within can be someone who's it's difficult for it to come out. We want to be creative, we want to express ourselves, but we don't know what to express because perhaps we've put too many limitations on it. So this opposition is going to help us balance that out. Okay, then on 11th we have Sun in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. So there is a change that can take place. With Uranus, it's always, expect the unexpected. If Uranus is involved, that's just how it is. Okay, so there can be a certain shift that challenges the current identity or the status we have built. There can be triggers that come from money, finance, other financial opportunities, and what we consider stable and secure. And it can bring up inner child issues, something that has been created when we were way younger, and how that conditioning has impacted us to create our comfort space. And this is it, and this is my reality, and this is how it shall be. Uranus is like, well, I'm going to challenge that. Okay, so the good thing about this is the sun is bringing in illumination and a lot of clarity about what the issue is, of course. And if something clashes with the best self that is trying to be created for us of the soul, then that will be shifted out. So in a positive way, this can really create a forward movement. It can be very electrifying. We can be full of energy here. Squares come with a lot of energy. Sun brings a lot of energy, and Uranus is very electric as well. So we might be really motivated to just work on something that we have really desired but have been afraid to make that change. Okay, both are fixed signs, so it's important to be a little bit flexible, or at least keep an open mind while you are pursuing your goals. It's an excellent time for breakthroughs, and it can really lead to a lot of clarity and success. On 11th, again, we have Venus entering Leo, so the feminine now wants to be adored. She does not want to be in the house so much. She doesn't want to be cozy and caring and all of that. She has learned all of that, and now she wants to give herself love. Okay, so she wants to be adored and loved. We want a good, fun time, and we want attention and to love ourselves. Okay, not in a bad way, but the validation. We are looking for validation. We're giving validation to ourselves, and so on. There's just a lot of improvement in our self-image and our self-confidence as well. There can be a lot of hairstyles being changed and fashion statements being changed. Venus also is the planet of love. Leo has a big heart, so this can be really expressing our love in many different ways. Art, anything else creative, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you show up, the way you write or speak, or anything really. Okay, there can be really big changes about that. Loving children and loving relationships with children, that's also possible. So give to others as generously as you would like to receive, and give yourself an honest compliment every day as a form of self-care. Okay, then we also have full moon in Aquarius, which is on the 11th/12th. And this one's a little bit tense, I would say, because it has a T-square with Mars and Uranus. T-square is 1 opposition and 2 squares. So there is an instinct to move towards breakthrough. Okay, we want to shift things. We want to be unique and express ourselves as best as we want. But at the same time, we want to maintain an image, or we feel uncomfortable shifting out of what has already been. And how do we exactly create the change? That might be the question. There can also be this feeling of wanting to move a little bit quicker, but unable to find a flow. Because again, both are rigid signs, they're fixed signs. It is difficult to find a flow, to create a flow. Fixed signs are excellent for creating sustainable structures that last a very long period of time. But if we ask them to do something very temporary, like why? What's the point, right? But oppositions and time of the full moon can bring about a lot of epiphanies. Aquarius rules epiphanies, so there is a strong realization of what we want to make happen. And Mars in Taurus squaring is like, there is a strong desire, but Mars is not able to move very quickly. So this full moon is basically asking us to contemplate, and it brings up all these emotional thoughts, patterns, and asks us to see things a little bit more objectively. Moon in Aquarius is emotional objectivity, however ridiculous it may seem. That's simply how it is. It can be a great relief to process our emotions. So really observe your thoughts around this day, observe your energy levels and emotional activity, write things down, exercise if that is something that resonates with you. Cardio can be helpful if you feel a little bit frustrated. If Mars wants to get rid of that energy and it has suppressed quite a bit, then exercising or going for a run or a long walk or something of that nature can really help out. And channel as this energy as motivation and constructive action to make long-lasting changes here. Okay, because the changes that are initiated are the thoughts that come in and you make decisions for moving ahead can be a long-lasting one, since Mars in Taurus is fixed, Sun in Leo is fixed, and Moon in Aquarius is fixed. Okay, all right, on 14th we have Sun in Leo opposite Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn is retrograde, so change is difficult. There is a desire to maintain an identity and issues with relationship with father figure and authority figures. There is a need to change up the space and how things have gone on for so long. But we also need to take care of some responsibilities that we have already said yes to. So it can be a little bit of an annoying, nagging feeling, but as with any opposition, we need to balance both sides. We need to find our uniqueness. We need to also make changes. We need to, live up to the promises that we have already made, but plan differently moving forward. So avoid mundane tasks as much as possible. You might not feel very inspired to do those. Although there is an increase in stamina and perseverance, so something that must be done will be done. Okay, if there is anything that stops you from, self-expression, and then it is time to work through it. Saturn is all about bolster through, not avoid, not dodge, no clever solutions. So there's no working around it, but through it. Okay, but once that is done, there is freedom guaranteed for ourselves. So basically do what needs to be done. Okay. Same day we have Mars in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto being retrograde. So there is a perception and mindset shift that happens towards power, control, success, and ambition. And subconscious limitations are more brought to the light, and we see it in a positive way. It's sort of like a realization, oh, I did not realize that I do this all the time and this is not effective at all. Maybe if I tried it differently, it might work. Or it just directly comes in the form of a solution. Like, hey, I could do it like this and it would be much better. Whatever changes these things are, they can lead to long-term career and financial, stability. We have more drive to make money, find suitable income sources, and also heal any scarcity mindset. This aspect also gives us the stamina and perseverance. So we have everything we need to deal with the Sun square Saturn. Then we have Moon conjunct Jupiter, Jupiter being retrograde in Aries. I did not include the Moon aspects the previous time, but this one felt a little bit something like I should discuss. So here goes. We have inner drive and motivation. We have an instinctual need to make things happen. We want to take ownership. We know how we're going to do it. We have the vision from Jupiter, and we have the drive from Aries. And Moon being there, we're totally in the mood to make stuff happen. There is luck and fortune on our side. We're generally positive and optimistic about the future. Okay, then on 16th, Mercury in Virgo is trining Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is retrograde. So there is a meticulous mind, very keen perception, observation is awesome. New ideas that are developed can be very genius, and they can be well developed with time. Realizations about self-worth and things of value to us and structures of the past as well can come up. And because it's a trine, again, we're taking it very positively. This comes as a solution to the problems we have been facing. And there can be realizations that enable closures. We move on from a different chapter into something else. We can have a plan of action for movement forward as well. Now, the ideas that come through, make sure to write those things down, because again, as we develop through them, they can become something worth selling even, or it can be something of service to somebody. Okay, it can really connect with Earth. It can be hands-on. It can also be basically anything that benefits people with this aspect. It's really nice for ideas. Okay, then we have Venus in Leo trining Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter is retrograde. This is taking place on 18th of August. So very creative. There's a very creative vibe, a very happy and positive. Venus is happy and Jupiter is as well happy. It's a little bit in retrograde, but still it is, the planet of protection, and it's the planet of abundance, retrograde or not. It just brings in that vibe. We feel very empowered to pursue what we desire. And there is a boost of positivity. That self-image and confidence is again on an all-time high. It's a very lucky day. The 20th of August, we have Mars entering Gemini. Now it's gonna be different. Okay, Mars in Taurus was really slow and lethargic, did not feel like doing much. But in Gemini, it's gonna be like flip-flopping. It wants to do something, it wants to do a lot of things, and then it wants to do nothing. It wants to talk to people, so it's great for, communications. It's amazing for teamwork, and we can learn so much from each other. There's just a lot of energy, and it can feel a little bit restless if we do not channel it in a positive way. Multitasking can be very amazing. We have a lot of energy and we can think of many different things at the same time. Because Mercury is now in Virgo, even if we are thinking of many things, we're still thinking effectively. Okay? Even if you're not team oriented, this can be a wonderful time to learn that. And also you might find a lot of joy by cooperating with others. Everyone's just more lively, a lot more chatty, more communicative, and also open-minded and accepting of other ideas. So it might really be fun. Okay, then Mercury in Virgo is opposite Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is retrograde. This is on the 21st. So this one can be tough to express abstract ideas. It will come out not as impressive as it is in our minds. So our mindscape, dreamscape can be a little bit deceptive when it comes out on paper. Because of that, there can be some misunderstandings, so it's best to not have very big meetings around this time. If you're an artist, then, if you're striving for perfectionism, even if you're not an artist, really, if you're striving for perfectionism in something, if you're really focused and driven in that one track, then there can be a lot of missed intuitive sparks, because Neptune retrograde, it has a little bit of a dimmer voice. Okay, the intuition is more subtle relative to when Neptune's moving direct. So the solution here is to practice some grounding and, keep a page to note down your many ideas and think it through after this aspect has passed. It'll be, I think, 2 to 3 days. 3 days, I believe. I'm not sure though. You can check it out. I will put a graph in the infographic that I talked about. Again, the link will be in the description box if you're interested. I know that it's a lot of stuff. That's why I thought of making a document so you don't have to keep watching many videos and skipping ahead trying to find the correct place, right? Okay, and avoid very deep or personal conversations around this time. Yeah, okay. On the 22nd, we have Mercury in Virgo trining Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is retrograde, so this can be a powerful influence through our words. Okay, whether you're writing or you're speaking, you can have some very profound conversations with people that bring out a lot of realizations about how you operate, how your mind works, how you view work ethic, power, authority, work in general, career. What is your attitude towards these things, and is it on the right track to making your best self happen, or is there something that can be shifted? If there is something to be shifted, you will receive the answers around this time. There can be a very good understanding of psychology, research, and you're very perceptive around this time. Also, not to drum up business, this is a great time to, go to tarot readers, astrologers, even therapists, because there is a good chance that you will find someone that you resonate with, or that the reading that comes through to you is very much resonant relative to, finding someone not in this time. There is not a desire for small talk. Virgo is not a very small talker, and also neither is Capricorn. So connecting with more intimate people or talking about relatively intimate topics where you need answers, that's a very good time on this day. Also, Sun will be entering Virgo on this day, so happy birthday, August Virgos. Highly recommend you watch the Virgo plus Leo month ahead if you are born around the cusp. Okay, so Virgo is analytical, it is methodical, practical, grounded, intelligent, and a perfectionist. So figuring out ideal routines. And what does ideal mean to you? For a Virgo, it means something productive and efficient, right? So creating new habits is really good around this time. We're brought our focus by the sun into self-care, changing our routines, finding out an exercise routine that works, diet fixes that need to be worked on, because we want a healthy boost of energy continuously so that we ensure good quality of performance, work, etc., and health, wealth, all of that all the time. You might also feel an increased desire to be of service to people around you. You want to constructively help them, like helping your parents prepare a meal, for example. Or if you have roommates, then you want to lend a hand, just because there's nothing, you hold them accountable for. It's just, why not? There might be more of that feeling. Don't be too hard on yourself, because Virgo taken to one extreme can be a perfectionist, and the critical mindset can cut down even yourself, right? So if something does not work out the first time, it's fine. Give it another shot. With the mutable energy, we can shift things and be more flexible relative to when Sun was in Leo. So let's make use of that flexible energy and try again in a different manner. And if it helps, make a list of all the little things you do throughout the day, including having coffee from so-and-so time and making the to-do list from so-and-so time, even the little things, and tick them as you go so you can have a clear idea of how much you have achieved throughout the day. Okay. Then we have Moon in Cancer trining Neptune in Pisces, which is retrograde on the 23rd. And on this day, we are very empathetic and compassionate. We have a powerful imagination. We have excellent manifestation powers. And emotionally connecting with close family members is very fruitful. On the 24th, Uranus in Taurus will move retrograde. So shocks and surprises will be dimmed. It's more of a calm weather. If you are looking for a lot of changes, now would not be a great time. It is more of a time to absorb the changes that have happened and how do we settle into them. When it's in Taurus, we're like trying to settle down, okay? So new and exciting can be tough to find. Epiphanies come more as soft realizations that just creep into our mind instead of a drop flash lightning from the sky, okay? So it's about getting used to things here. Okay, then Mercury will move into Libra on the 25th of August. We're looking more for intellectual compatibility now. Harmony, diplomacy is very important. We need to have more tact in our words and the way we present ourselves to others. We're more attracted to those type of conversations and environments. A level-headed judgment of any situation. There is a sufficient amount of objectivity in the air. So awesome time for having meetings, for example. Okay, tough situations can be solved through pros and cons list. So if you have any dilemmas, that's how it can be solved. And if it is, problems with people, then it is about how respectfully you can communicate to one another. Okay, and also Libra is very social, so enjoy socializing, except perhaps the water signs, because Libra falls in the 4th, 8th, and 12th houses, which are a little bit more private. And there you are more introspective, and you want to understand the relationships within the home environment, within your mind, and with spirit, respectively. But, you can still be more social with your closer contacts, who you feel close enough to share your more mental states, okay? Either way, it is more social compared to when it was in Virgo. Okay, on the 27th, Venus in Leo squares Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is retrograde. So desiring expensive treatments, but saving, or it clashes with values that we have. There is not much change or excitement in relationships. So again, if you're looking for that, then this is a tough time. But on the other side, it can also make you feel a little bit stuck and confined as well. Not that that's how the situation is, but it can just feel a little bit blah around this time if you're looking for electrifying feelings. But if you want to find that comfort zone and establish a relationship and kind of just be in that space together, then it's an excellent time. Make yourself feel good by dressing well and feeling good about yourself. Give yourself a compliment, like I said, when Venus is in Leo. Spend on things that would actually make you feel good, be more fulfilling and satisfying instead of a temporary bliss type thing. And rely less on others for excitement and validation. You can create that for yourself because there's plenty of energy for that. Okay, then on the 27th itself, we have a new moon in Virgo, and this one is squaring Mars in Gemini. So there is low attention span. There can be many ideas and wishing to follow up on all of them, a little bit restless. But, you can list ideas down. New moon is where we can plant new intentions, so you can really meditate and gather your thoughts and then write those down, channel them into productive action later on. Setting intentions would be very useful. Okay. Mars is as well very excellent for intentions, so whatever you wish for, there is a good chance that it can come about within the month. Lastly, on the 28th of August, we have Venus in Leo opposite Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn being retrograde. So there is a difficulty forming good relationships. We are desiring to be admired, but Saturn calls attention to what stops us from experiencing freedom within ourselves, okay? So moods will be pessimistic, a little bit depressing, because Saturn is being more prioritized over Venus. Uncovering the problems lead to more problems. So in the sense that if we're picking at issues that are there, that is obvious, if we want to discuss at this time, it's not a very great time to come to a productive conclusion. The opposition is just, there are two extremes, and it can be hard to find a consolidation point. So if it involves another person, it might be even harder to bring yourself to center. Even within ourselves, Saturn can be a little bit depressing. It can show the very real hard-hitting truths, and sometimes it's not very easy to handle. So dealing with them one by one, doing what needs to get done, not overthinking things. And even if you feel like there is a problem, it's best to wait like 2 days or something before discussing the issue. In the meantime, a little bit on the defensive side, just practice self-respect and have a healthy boundary with other people. It's a nice time to learn and affirm self-respect, basically. Yes, so that's what I have for this month. There's a lot going on here, many dynamics. So plenty to look forward to and some things to look out for as well. I hope this video enlightens you for the month ahead, and make sure to get that infographic as well so it's easier to know what's going to happen on what day. The link again is in the description box in the comment below, and watch out for your tarot predictions for the month ahead as well. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you know you're notified when your video's up. I hope to see you there. Until next time, take care. Bye.